Would you pull the lever? Mill, Bentham, and the ethics of utilitarianism. What makes an action right or wrong? Is it the intention behind it, or the outcome it creates? Welcome to Psychology Lens. The philosophy of utilitarianism is one of the most influential and debated moral theories in history. It's a simple yet powerful idea. The morally right action is the one that produces the greatest good for the greatest number. But what does good really mean? How do we measure happiness, or justify sacrifice? And when is doing the most good actually wrong? These questions aren't just philosophical puzzles. They shape how we make decisions every day, from law and medicine to technology and politics. And to explore them, we'll journey through the minds of two thinkers who built this moral framework: Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. And then, we'll face the haunting modern test of utilitarianism, the trolley problem. Our story begins in 18th century England, an era of industrial revolution, social reform, and Enlightenment thinking. Jeremy Bentham, the radical reformer. Bentham believed that moral and legal systems should be based not on tradition, religion, or authority, but on human well-being. In his book An Introduction to the Principles of Morals and Legislation, 1789, he wrote, "Nature has placed mankind under the governance of two sovereign masters, pain and pleasure." Bentham, 1789. According to Bentham, all human behavior aims to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So morality, at its core, should maximize pleasure, happiness, and minimize pain, suffering. The principle of utility. Bentham called this idea the principle of utility, the standard by which we judge all actions. In his view, a morally right act is one that increases overall happiness for the community. But how do we measure happiness? Bentham actually proposed a method, what he called the hedonic calculus. It considers intensity, duration, certainty, propinquity, nearness, fecundity, will it lead to more pleasure, purity, absence of pain, extent, how many people benefit. This sounds mechanical, but Bentham's ambition was revolutionary, to make ethics scientific. Bentham's vision was egalitarian and progressive. He argued for prison reform, women's rights, and even animal welfare, centuries ahead of his time. But soon, critics asked, can morality really be reduced to math? And are all pleasures truly equal? Half a century later, John Stuart Mill, Bentham's student and intellectual heir, expanded utilitarianism into something richer and more humane. Mill admired Bentham's logic, but he saw a flaw. If all pleasures count equally, then a life of mere indulgence could seem as good as a life of wisdom and creativity. Mill disagreed. He argued that some pleasures are higher than others. It is better to be a human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied. Better to be Socrates dissatisfied than a fool satisfied. Mill, 1863. Mill believed that the pleasures of the intellect, imagination, and moral sentiment are qualitatively superior to bodily pleasures. So for Mill, utilitarianism wasn't just about how much happiness, but what kind of happiness. Liberty and the greater good. In On Liberty, 1859, Mill defended personal freedom as essential for collective happiness. People, he said, must be free to pursue their own version of the good life, so long as they don't harm others. This became the harm principle, the cornerstone of modern liberal democracy. Mill thus transformed Bentham's formula from cold calculation into a moral vision balancing freedom, intellect, and human dignity. Now, let's put utilitarianism to the test. You're standing by a railway track. A runaway trolley is speeding toward 5 workers who can't escape. You can pull a lever to divert the trolley onto another track, where only 1 worker is tied down. If you do nothing, 5 people die. If you pull the lever, 1 person dies, but 5 live. What would you do? The utilitarian answer. A strict utilitarian says, pull the lever. Saving 5 lives produces more total happiness, even though 1 life is lost. The outcome is better overall. This puzzle, known as the trolley problem, was first introduced by Philip Afoot 1967, and later expanded by Judith Jarvis Thomson 1976. It exposes the emotional and moral tension in outcome-based reasoning. Variations and dilemmas. Now imagine another version. You can stop the trolley by pushing a large man off a bridge. His body will stop the train, saving 5, but he will die. Most people refuse to push him. Why? Because the moral intuition shifts. We are now using someone as a means to an end, crossing a moral boundary. This reveals the core conflict. Utilitarianism values outcomes, but our instincts often value principles, like justice, rights, and respect for persons. Utilitarianism may sound abstract, but it shapes many modern moral debates. 1. Public policy and law. Governments routinely weigh costs and benefits when making decisions. Should we raise taxes to fund healthcare? Should we impose lockdowns to save lives, even if it hurts the economy? These are utilitarian calculations, balancing happiness and harm for the majority. 2. Technology and AI. Self-driving cars face utilitarian choices. If a collision is inevitable, should the car prioritize passengers or pedestrians? In 2016, MIT's Moral Machine experiment found global differences in how people answered this question, showing how culture shapes our utilitarian instincts. 3. Environmental ethics. Climate change policies often apply utilitarian logic, sacrifice some comfort today to ensure the well-being of future generations. 4. Medicine and resource allocation. During pandemics or organ shortages, doctors sometimes must decide who receives treatment first, aiming to save the most lives. Utilitarianism provides a framework for these dilemmas, but not always an answer. It gives us the logic of maximizing good, but leaves us to face the emotional cost. Despite its influence, utilitarianism faces serious criticisms. 1. The problem of justice. Imagine punishing an innocent person to stop riots and prevent deaths. A pure utilitarian might approve, since it prevents greater harm. But that feels deeply unjust. Critics like John Rawls argue that justice and fairness can't be sacrificed for greater utility. 2. Measuring happiness. Can happiness be quantified? Can we compare one person's joy to another's suffering? Bentham's calculus assumes yes, but experience says otherwise. 3. The tyranny of the majority. If morality is based on majority happiness, minorities may be oppressed, for the greater good. Mill tried to solve this by defending individual liberty, but the tension remains. 4. Ignoring intentions. Utilitarianism focuses on outcomes, not motives. But we often judge morality by why someone acts, not just what happens. A selfish act that produces good results still feels wrong. These criticisms don't destroy utilitarianism, but they remind us that morality is more than numbers. It involves empathy, principles, and character. From Bentham's calculus to Mill's philosophy of liberty, utilitarianism reshaped how we think about ethics, law, and policy. Its spirit lives in every public decision that asks, what will do the most good for the most people? And the trolley problem continues to haunt our moral imagination. It reminds us that ethics isn't just abstract theory, it's about real lives and hard choices. So, what do we learn? Maybe Bentham and Mill were right, that happiness is the goal of morality. But perhaps they also teach us something deeper. That the pursuit of happiness must never erase human dignity. Thank you for joining this deep dive into utilitarianism. If you enjoyed this exploration, subscribe for more journeys through moral philosophy, where we ask the hardest questions humanity can face. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and remember, the good life is not the easy one, it's the examined one.